They haven't even touched home ice yet. Don't make your mind up on anything until they get their home advantage over with. And I think that's the biggest thing. The atmosphere and the energy here is no joke. No matter how a person or a player is feeling, it's tough not to get up for games like this. So tonight's a big one for sure. And I think that goes, without saying, but they haven't even touched their own rink yet. So let's not rush to judgment until maybe after the game tonight.
And well said, Luke. And I think the post-game comments from the team after game 2 were quite refreshing. We both agreed that the tone that all of the players in front of him took was encouraging for the fan base. However, lots of things popping up through 2 games in the series, 5-on-5, power play, the war of attrition. I did mention that you kind of just feel like this kind of taking the shape of the Panthers from last year too, where you see the finish line, but you're on the E and running on the fumes. So what would you say, again, vibes still remotely high, optimism there, but what's the one thing now that the Oilers do have to correct coming home in terms of, is it getting the power play going, 5-on-5 shot volume from the forward group, or just simply tonight for Knobloch, picking a proper lineup to kind of quell that injury issue?
If you're asking me, which you are, shoot the puck more.
Yeah.
Honestly, funnel everything to the net. I think they've given Bobrovsky way too much respect, and I don't mean someone's got to go out there and run him on the first shift, but they got to make his life a little tougher there. Like, get into the blue paint, get in and around the net, and they just gave up too many grade A looks. And I understand, I wasn't a sniper by any means, but there were just so many clips as I'm watching the game where guys are walking into basically grade A territory, looking for that one more pass, right? Just that one extra look. And at least for the first period tonight, if I'm the Oil and I'm a coach there, it is everything goes to the net. And with traffic and drivers, make Bobrovsky really work for everything. I think he's been really good, but I just think they're giving him a little bit too much respect right now.
I know a lot of the conversation here over the last couple of days has been about an aggressive Florida Panthers penalty kill. Power play, they hit a few posts. They're getting power plays, which I think is a positive. They've had 7 through the first 2 games. Guys, how do you adjust against a aggressive penalty kill?
McDavid said they'll figure it out. He
said
they've cracked all the other peaks.
He's speaking with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
A lot of times you see a team that's down 2-0, you can just tell they look defeated.
Yeah.
I don't think the Oilers technically look defeated right now with their presence the last couple of weeks.
We usually solve penalty kills, and I would expect we'll figure this one out too.
Yeah, so how do you solve it? Luke, what do you think?
To be honest, the way I've seen them solve in the past, they solved it with LA and Vancouver is with motion. When Connor starts moving, it makes everyone on that penalty kill side just start freaking out. And even if you're like the Florida Panthers, this is, I think, the second best penalty kill in hockey in the playoffs. As soon as 97 starts walking up the wall and ripping around, now you have to make adjustments. And whoever it is on the ice, whether it's Barkov, whether it's Ekblad, you start panicking a little bit. So if I'm Connor, like he has in the past, especially with Vancouver is where I saw it a lot. As soon as he started with a little bit of motion and sending guys on the backside, that makes them make decisions. And it goes back to my first thought too. Give me some more Bush bombs. Get that puck up to the point and let Bush just rip.
Creates chaos, right, Luke? It creates chaos.
Creates chaos and rebounds towards the net if the puck doesn't go in. And if they want to block a 100-mile-an-hour one-timer after 100-mile one-timer, you're going to test their courage real quickly. That's the BX though. Working with Kev really showed me. He's just listen, if guys want to get down and block shots, make them test their courage. And I'd love to see their first couple plays win a drawback, load a high to a Bush one-timer and just get after it. Send guys to the net. I think it's just simplicity, man. It's getting down to the bare bones of how a simple power play can be effective, and I'm sure they'll figure it out, man. They're some of the best in the world at adjusting.
Luke Gazdic with us, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Pick up a new jersey today over at Pro-Am Sports. All right, we got to talk about Darnell Nurse. Did not skate yesterday, but they are planning like they're going to have him for tonight. And, we were having the conversation earlier today. I'm not a huge fan of 11-7, but do you risk just rolling 6D with Nurse, and if he can't get through the first period due to this injury, you roll 5D the rest of the way, or would you contemplate possibly going 11-7, which would just mean more McDavid and Draisaitl probably somewhere along the way?
No, I personally think they go 11-7.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it last night, especially when I started getting into the depths, and you see the state that he's in. I don't think they can risk going down to 5 again, and I don't think he minds going 11. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm going to go down right after this. I'm going down to morning skate, so I'm going to see who's out there and all that. But I'm leaning right now towards an 11-7 model. I mean, you know me, I don't love it, but if a guy's hurting, it's tough to put the brunt on 5 guys. Like 11's easy. I want to say easy for forwards. It's easier for forwards. 5D is really tough. It puts the onus on usually one guy in particular, and that guy just happened to be Bush last game, 31 minutes or whatever he played. So I'll see what's going on there this morning, but I think Knobs would be leaning towards 11.
What about Evander Kane, he's trying, man. Like he's trying to grind through this, not being overly effective. Do you allow him to try to push through it again, or do you say let's just get a healthy body in there and try to make more of an impact?
Yeah, you could say it. He's hurting out there, man.
Yeah,
like you can tell he's almost like half a.
He's a shadow of what he usually is, right? Like,
yeah. And you know what, man? I give him a lot of credit. Whatever he's going through, you can tell he's going through the mud right now. And at what point do you look at your lineup as a coach and say there are a number of healthy players here that are chomping at the bit, that are 100% and not, hurting in any way? Like, you look at a Corey Perry, and I know it's too late for Gags. I am the number one Sam Gagne supporter.
Yeah.
See Sam Gagne coming out on the ice at Rogers tonight. This place will go nuts. I know it's not happening. It's a pipe dream, but there are a number of players that are just chomping at the bit up there in the press box. And I just think at what point do you look at his game and say, man, I think we got to give him a break here.
Gaz, it looked like yesterday at practice, Ryan McLeod, he hasn't been, very offensive at all this year, but when he has, it's been on the wing. Looks like they had him on the wing yesterday with Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. They have to find some sort of 5-on-5 offense. What do you make of a Draisaitl, Holloway, McLeod line?
Leon makes everybody better. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards the idea of maybe throwing a Henrique back up on top.
With McDavid? Slide Nuge down? Yeah.
Slide Nuge down to L2 with Draisaitl and maybe Dylan on his wing, and then kind of figure out the bottom of your lineup from there. I don't know, man. I don't love the idea of it, but to be honest, like everyone that plays with Leon, he seems to give them a boost. We've seen it in the past, so I'm very curious. The lines are the one thing I'm probably the most curious about right now with Knobs and what way he's going to go tonight. Like I'm genuinely, I didn't love morning skates as a player, to be honest. I was usually bag skating at the end of them, so I didn't like getting out there in the morning. But I'm genuinely curious to see what it looks like this morning, if he throws a little smoke screen out there, because there's a couple things that I think he might do to switch it up, tweak it up a little bit.
Guys, before we let you go, people are asking in the chat, they want your thoughts on Bouchard tapping out when Ekblad was cutting off his air supply there.
I did it one time in my career. It made me think of one.
You tapped out?
I got tapped out. I was playing in an American Hockey League game. I was playing for the Texas Stars. I was playing in Hamilton against the Bulldogs. Eric Nielson. If anyone knows this guy, Eric Nielson out there, he's one of the toughest human beings I've ever fought and played against. And I got into a scrap with him, and he ended up getting my jersey just tucked like this. And then he was pulling. So like he was back here, but what he didn't realize is I was going to sleep. I was like this. So literally the ref had to come in. I almost fainted. So I saw Boosh there. I got flashbacks. I got trauma there. I was like, oh God, I know what he's going through. That sucks. But man, you saw his eyes. He genuinely looked like terrified. I was like, someone go get this guy. Someone help him out. That was some trauma for me. Hey, and one thing for you before I go too.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, for me, I didn't know anything other than frozen burgers.
Thank you, Luke. Yes, me too.
I like the first time my dad brought home like fresh ground meat burgers. I was like, okay, so do we have to put these in the freezer first before we put them on the grill? Like that was growing up. It was a box of Angus Chuck, 24 pack. throw them on the grill with no space left on the grill, and my mom put them in buns. The four of us are like whoever, the kids and our friends over, just go to town. Frozen burgers for the win, man.
Man, I appreciate the support. Didn't ask for it, but got it anyway. You're the man, Gazdic. We appreciate it, buddy.